Dead men tell no tales, but their ships speak volumes. Welcome to the Cursed Compass, where we explore the darkest maritime mysteries. Maritime folklore has long warned sailors of the ghost ship, a supernatural vessel cursed to sail forever, collecting the souls of those lost at sea. In 1926, the mysterious author B. Traven published a novel titled The Death Ship, or Das Totenschiff, adopting this exact mythological premise for its title. Traven's novel contains no phantoms and no supernatural curses. It relies entirely on the socio-economic realities of the post-World War I shipping industry. In maritime logistics, a coffin ship is a highly specific financial tool. It is a decrepit, unseaworthy vessel that the owners have intentionally overinsured. The ship is meant to sink. Operating a vessel designed to fail presents a logistical hurdle for the owners. They must find an entire crew willing to step aboard a ship that will kill them at sea. The novel suggests that the success of such a venture depends on a single variable, a supply of workers that the law no longer recognizes as people. Sourcing that labor required specific geopolitical conditions. In the years immediately following World War I, European nations rapidly restructured their borders and enacted rigid legal barriers to immigration and travel. Crossing these new borders required proof of identity. The modern passport and the official seaman's book became requirements for international movement. Official documentation became the metric of a person's validity. Without these specific layers of official ink, consular seals, and national stamps, a worker had no legally recognized identity. The enforcement of this system produced a conflict between physical reality and legal status. A person standing in front of a border official legally ceased to exist if they could not produce the paper proving they were there. This produced a growing demographic of individuals trapped in the condition of statelessness. Traven's narrative demonstrates how state bureaucracy manufactured stateless individuals. By erasing their legal existence, governments provided the unregulated maritime economy with a supply of untraceable, invisible labor. The novel maps this descent through the protagonist, Gerard Gales, an American sailor who claims he is originally from New Orleans. The inciting incident of the plot is an ordinary mistake. Gales lingers on shore too long and misses his ship's departure. He watches his vessel leave the industrial port of Antwerp, stranding him in Belgium. He has left his passport and his official seaman's book aboard the departing ship. This flowchart maps the bureaucratic response to an undocumented worker. Gales begins in Antwerp and travels to the nearest consulates to request temporary paperwork. Without existing documentation to prove his identity, the consulates refuse to issue replacements. Local police arrest him for vagrancy. Instead of processing him through a legal system, authorities push him across the border in the middle of the night. The neighboring country does the same, creating a continuous loop of secret, undocumented deportations. Government officials shuttle Gales from jurisdiction to jurisdiction to avoid the administrative friction of either prosecuting him or assisting him. Gales is caught in a legal vacuum. He cannot obtain a visa for residence, and therefore no legitimate captain can offer him employment. The bureaucratic machine does not execute the undocumented worker. It traps him in a loop of rejection until he is erased from civil society. Facing starvation, Gales has no choice but to seek off-the-books employment where legal paperwork is not requested. He secures a position aboard the Yorikke, a decrepit vessel barely holding together in the water. Traven's choice of the name Yorikke is a reference to the skull in Shakespeare's Hamlet, establishing the boat as a vessel of death. This comparison illustrates the Yorikke's gizmus model. A legitimate cargo vessel requires capital for structural maintenance, regulated wages, and mandatory safety equipment. A coffin ship eliminates overhead. Maintenance is ignored, and because the crew does not legally exist, they are paid almost nothing and recorded on no official registry. The entire enterprise is designed to trigger an insurance payout when the unseaworthy vessel finally sinks. If the owners staffed a coffin ship with a documented crew, their deaths at sea would trigger international diplomatic inquiries. The fraud would be exposed. Stateless men solve this liability. When a paperless crew drowns, no consulate receives a report. The deaths trigger zero legal consequences, ensuring the insurance payout clears without friction. Below deck on the Yorikke, Gales and the rest of the undocumented crew execute labor in extreme heat, continuously shoveling coal just to keep the failing ship moving towards its own destruction. The Coffin ship is a product of an unregulated market that identifies a legally invisible demographic and extracts their labor until they die. The focus on invisibility extends directly from the protagonist to the architect of the novel itself. Traven maintained a commitment to anonymity throughout his career. He refused to verify his personal background, his true name, or his citizenship. When his German publisher, Buchgilde Guvenborg, requested biographical details and photographs to promote the upcoming release, Traven rejected the request. He wrote back, "My personal history would not be disappointing to readers, but it is my own affair which I want to keep to myself. I am in fact in no way more important than is the typesetter for my books, the man who works the mill, no more important than the man who binds my books, and the woman who wraps them, and the scrubwoman who cleans up the office." Traven's refusal to participate in the mechanics of personal identity aligns with the anarchist critique at the center of his novel. The Yorikke operates as a microcosm for all industrial labor, a space where human beings are stripped of their individuality and reduced to mechanical components. This critique resonated with post-war readers. Following its initial 1926 publication, Das Totenschiff went through 12 German editions before its English release in 1934, securing Traven's international renown. Traven erased his own ego for the same reason his protagonist's identity was erased by the state. He wanted to prove that the systemic conditions of the worker matter entirely. The specific name printed on the title page does not. The modern state system, as Traven depicts it, fails its citizens when it demands absolute administrative perfection. By requiring documentation to participate in society, the bureaucracy categorizes and commodifies human life instead of protecting it. Gerard Gales drops from a legal citizen to an undocumented anomaly. He is classified as a stateless ghost by the governments of Europe and is consumed as disposable fuel by the shipping industry. The romantic myth of the ghost ship offers a layer of fantasy. Traven's mechanized reality strips that comfort away. The death ship endures as an autopsy of bureaucracy. It illustrates how systems designed to measure human validity via paperwork turn the paperless into ghosts, leaving them to be consumed by the machine.